So I've tried to sync everything. It might be a little off. And this is the first time we're going to be doing this via my desktop. Hi, hi. I have the game ready. That is actually the game screen right now. So when I go off, because I'm learning, so when I go off of Steam, it pauses. So right now it's just on pause until I open it up. During that time, I have it set up so I can see the chat just off to the side. So I'll be able to see the chat happening at the same time finally. Because usually I'm looking up at the TV, not at my desktop. And so thank you, Steve, for the gift of an Asus TUF laptop. It allows me to finally do what everybody has been bugging me to do for the last few years, which is play on my laptop so I can actually stream computer games and games that I can't get for the Switch. And we have a new device for Iris that does a sonic sound, so when she is getting a little too crazy, we can silence her just a little faster. She doesn't like it. What are you sniffing, Boo? Oh, nothing, nothing. Because right now, the wires are all in dangerous places, and one mishap from Miss Doggy Butt over here will send everything crashing. And before we begin, yes, I'm still coughing even a month later, but it's slowly getting better. But postnasal drip is an ass. And no, it's not COVID. But that doesn't stop everyone from thinking it is. And yes, I had a breakout, so my face is a little bit mangled. So I guess we will jump in, and Justin, I will be relying for you, Iris. I will be relying on you to inform me if shit goes wrong, because there's a good chance the mic's gonna act up. There's a good chance everything's gonna just collapse. So here we go. It's by Xseed too. I love Xseed because they also make the Rune Factory and some of my Story of Season games. Yes, we have a controller now, so. I can't hear anything out of my headphone. Can you hear anything? Yes, that's right. She hasn't set one foot outside her room today either. And she's still talking about that friend of hers. I keep telling her there's no such person. And when I do, she gives me such a stare. This is the ending to the anime. I've never seen her look at me that way before. Never. Please, she was always such a bright and cheery girl. Hey, Mom. Where did that happy daughter of mine go? What happened to her? Please, try to stay calm. This matter must be handled with the utmost care. Remember, your daughter has it even rougher than you right now. We mustn't think of her as a lost cause, or she'll never get that help she needs. Rest assured, I'll do everything in my power to assist you. Let's work together to bring the happy little girl of yours back. Yes, you're right. Thank you. I feel better just hearing you say that. I think I'm going to go check on her. Alright, be careful though. Try not to say anything that might upset her. Oh, there's sound. I hear it. Naomi, have you gone to bed early? Or bed already? It's your mom. I'm coming in. I'll turn the voices up once we get into the game. Either way, I read usually. Natsumi? Naomi. Naomi, I can't believe you're still in that same spot. Standing all day must be killing your legs. Why not have a seat on that bed? On the bed. You know, I had a really lovely encounter today. I was out shopping and happened to notice an adorable little kitten at the pet shop. You've been begging me for a cat, right? It was a beautiful auburn fold. It just kept staring at me. I could barely pry myself away from it. I'd love to introduce you to. Maybe tomorrow we can go out and see it. Your teacher said it was okay for you to skip school if you want. Why not ditch class and do some shopping with your mom, Doesn't that sound nice? Come on, Naomi, why are you just standing there? Is someone with you? Seiko. Naomi, please, listen very closely and don't get mad. Don't say it. I just want to ask about your friend. I want to know more about her. The girl Seiko from your class. How long has she been there? Always. And what class is it again? 2-9. Yes, that's right. You always said it was a wonderful homeroom where everybody gets along beautifully. But the thing is, no one else from your class. Get out. You don't believe a word I'm saying, so just get the hell out of my room. Why did you even come up here? Why pretend you care when you don't even believe me? You think I'm crazy, don't you? Well, you kinda are. Naomi, stop it. You're going to hurt your hand. Listen, there's no such person as Seiko. You have to pull yourself together, please. I am together. It's everyone else who's gone mad. Please, you need to calm down. Just leave me alone. You can all go to hell. I know she's real. Naomi. More screaming. Naomi, please, I'm begging you. Just calm down, please. Let go of me. Let go of me. It's alright, Naomi. It's medicine. It'll help you relax. No. Well, to be fair, Naomi, take the medicine. Take it. We don't want it too loud because then I can't be heard. No, I don't want to. Why won't anyone believe me? I know, right? Alright, let me go into the settings real quick. Alright, now after a lot of fussing, we're gonna get right back to this. Jesus Christ. With chapter 1, called Seal. Ah, what a lovely weather. What a lovely weather. Let me screw up right away. Ah, what lovely weather. I wonder if Ayumi's faring at school today. Wow, and then I forgot how. Apparently, I'm very dyslexic this morning. Ah, what lovely weather. I wonder how Ayumi's faring at school today. I hope she's enjoying herself. Her spirits seem unusually active again, though. And there's that old sense of unease, too. The same one Ayumi and I have been feeling all our lives, but stronger than ever. I don't like it one bit. I can sense its presence. It's gotten very, very close. But that's preposterous, right? I'm probably just imagining things. Maybe it'd be best if I talk to her about it. I'm gonna have to also change the text once we get somewhere where I can, because I don't like this slow little no, because then I have to push twice and then I have a chance of skipping stuff. I only hope nothing bad happens. Book of Shadows, Episode 1. Seal. Flop. I threw down my bag, collapsed onto the bed, and stared up at the ceiling. There were my familiars, the familiar lighting, the familiar patterns I knew so well, and that familiar stain in the corner. I remember when my dad made that stain. It was my 5th birthday, and he'd just opened a can of soda. I'd been shaking. Staring up at my ceiling, was something I'd done a million times before, but today it felt strange, like I'd just come from doing the exact same thing. And I'm not talking the general act of lying in bed and looking up, but a more specific sense that I'd experienced a singular moment in time once before. I believe the term you're looking for is déjà vu. Supposedly, déjà vu signifies that a new destiny has just been born within you. So congratulations, Nakashima. You may be a whole new person now. So said the class rep, making light of the situation in her usual creepy way, but maybe she was right. I had been more cognizant of my actions, and then... Usually if I pay too much attention to every little thing I do, I begin obsessing, and then I just give myself a headache and end up calling it quits. But this déjà vu was really real, and it was far stronger than any I had any right to be. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill spooky feeling. It was all-encompassing. No matter where you go in this house, it all smells just like you, Naomi. Is this heaven? Ah, Seiko, you perv. They actually, in the live action, they made it very clear that she is in love with Naomi. Maybe they'll do that in this game too. I swear, Seiko, doesn't it feel like this has all happened once before? What has? You, sleeping over here. And then the next day we're both like, hey, let's go clothes shopping, don't you remember? Surely you jest. Oh, look at her neck. Look at her neck. She's got the rope mark. Long have I sought to capture thee and infiltrate the walls of this holy temple, but today marks my first successful conquest. Yeah, I guess that isn't the sort of thing I'd half forget quite so easily. Must just be my imagination. Finally, our flags have been planted, Seiko and Naomi, together at last. You bet, this is going to be lots of fun. But what's all this about a flag? Oh, I think you know. And so began my first ever slumber party with Seiko. The moment 5th period ended that day, we tore right out of school and loaded up all the junk food and drinks we could carry. Seiko and I had been friends forever, but neither of us had stayed at the other's house before. We were both pretty excited this was going to be fun. Naomi, do you mind if I make a quick call home? The kids know where I'll be, but I should still check in since I didn't have a chance to swing by. Sure, go ahead. Do you need to use the landline? No, my cell phone will be just fine. I just worry about poor little you, you know? He'd be sad if I didn't at least call. No problem. You do your thing and I'll take a quick bathroom break. I don't think there's actually any gameplay in this. I think it's just reading. So this is going to be a long reading game for those who like to sit there and listen to my horrible reading. I exited my room, glancing behind me to see Seiko, holding her cell phone to her head with one hand while flashing me a peace sign with the other. The mere idea that there'd be a friend waiting for me in my room when I got back was just so exciting. Oh, the things we could talk about that night. Where should we start? What story should we tell? Nope. Yeah, okay, let's look like Dad's going to be late coming home tomorrow. Oops, I pushed, no, turn that off. Alright, there we go. Yeah, okay. It looks like Dad's going to be late coming home tomorrow, so I'll head your way after the festival cleanup and all the goodbyes. Then we can go get ready for Dad's special surprise together, okay? Yep. Give all my love to the others, and make sure you all tuck in tight tonight so you don't catch colds. Take care of you. They holding up okay? Sure are, which means I've got nothing to worry about. I can enjoy my time with you to the fullest. Sounds like you're ready to have some fun. I'll bet you are too. So what should we talk about? Anything you'd like. I'm just glad to have this blissful opportunity. I really can't say why I felt so shy and embarrassed. The two of us were always together, after all. Changing the setting from school to my personal space just seemed to bring us a lot closer. I found myself staring at Seiko's face as if studying it. Did she always look like that? This was someone who regarded me as a friend. All kinds of inane thoughts were swimming through my head, and for some reason they were making me really nervous. Hey, you know what we've got? We've got that chocolate soda we bought. Want to try it out? Do I? Just try and stop me. chocolate soda. I took out the bottle we purchased and poured its fizzy contents into 2 cups. It had the faintest tinge of chocolate color, but was otherwise clear. As it hit the bottom of each cup, that familiar comforting sizzle of carbonic acid rising from liquid echoed from amidst the fourth of... Okay, really get a little too poetic here about some soda. Well, it's sure a pretty color, but what do we do with the rest of it if it sucks? We take it with us to school tomorrow and offer it up to everyone. Make like we're being real nice, see? Hey, that's a good idea. Alright, here you go, Seiko. Thanks. Okay, let's drink it down on the count of 3. Sounds good. 1, 2, 3. Damn, that's good. Before I knew it, we were up to our old tricks, talking on and on like we always did at school. We smiled and laughed and felt jolly over the same things. Spending this time together, we could each forget all the troubles for a while. This was the kind of friend that comes along only once in a lifetime. I was starting to get really sentimental, and I had no idea why. I certainly couldn't admit it to her, though. I'd never hear the end of it. I just kept thinking to myself, I really hope Seiko and I can be friends like this clear and clean into our adulthood, for the rest of our lives even. Maybe it was the same weird sense of camaraderie one tends to feel during overnight field trips. I don't know. Mrs. Takashima, this food is stupendous. Come on, Naomi, say ah. Thank you. You two certainly are close, aren't you? I've heard so much about you, Shinohara, that I felt I simply had to meet you one of these days. Oh, Naomi's been talking about me, has she? Oh, all the time. During meals, you're always a hot topic around here. She never fails to have some story about where you two went or what you did. Oh ho ho! So I've been accepted by the family, then. My tears of joy overflow at the prospect of I must be read as a beat right now. Seiko? Oh, and it's not just you, Naomi. Not you. Naomi also loves talking about Satoshi Mochita Boy. Whenever he comes up, she just gets so excited. I think she likes... Mom? Ixnay on the Atoshi Seike? Sorry, dear. Oh, don't worry. I know all about her feelings towards her beloved Mochita. Naomi may seem like a strong girl, but she really is quite the shy one. Seiko, stop. Just stop. Well, you're certainly well informed. What say you and I have a girls' night out sometime? I'll treat you to something good, and in return you tell me everything you know about Naomi from school. It'd be an honor and a privilege, Mrs. Takashima. Oh, come on now. Well, then have you two gotten sufficiently stuffed? I've drawn a bath, so you should head in there while the water's still warm. I assume you'll be okay going in together since you're both girls, no? Damn straight, my flag is firmly planted now. The day is totally won. What are you talking about? Are we really going to bathe together? And seriously, what's all this flag business about? Never mind that. Just come on. Mrs. Takashima, we're going to borrow your bathroom. Roger that. Make sure you two get nice and warm. Seiko and I removed the lapels from our school uniforms on the way to the bathroom dressing area. I still felt a little uncomfortable, so I suggested we bathe separately after all, but Seiko just mumbled that resistance is futile and set about taking my clothes off. With only a few swift movements, she had my whole outfit uniform stripped away in no time at all. She was a bona fide pro, a real expert of taking people's clothes off, disturbingly well practiced. Hot. Oop, no kidding, the water at your house doesn't mess around. Yeah, Mom likes to run the world's hottest baths. I keep telling her when you're soaking, lower temperatures are better, but she never listens. Oh well. Excuse me. Should have done that. What's this? Is your body feeling chilled? Well then, take this. Whoa. You're going to catch a cold if you're not careful. You've got to be quicker on taking off your clothes, Naomi. Come on, don't be shy here. Look this way. Seiko had such a dumb, self-satisfied expression on her face that she scooped up water in the basin and dumped it over our heads. I think you're unshy enough for the both of us. I mean, you're the one who tore off all my clothes like they were a paper. Well, I do bathe my little brothers every day, so I've gotten pretty good at speed stripping other people. Okay, that makes sense, actually. Anyway, you need to loosen up. Let's take the opportunity to deepen our friendship. Yes, yeah. You've thoroughly broken me out of my shell now. How about I wash your back? Have a seat. Oh, yes, please. I lather up, of course they're going to show this photo. I lather up a brand new silk towel with my body soap and began washing Seiko's back, marveling at her perfect complexion. Boobs don't sit that high, darling. Unless they're fake. I never noticed before just what a classic beauty she was. But that's anime for you, huh? I would know. I draw it. I bought this special just for you, so I hope you're enjoying it. How's it feel? Yeah, that's it, right there. And that's when all the language broke down and the sounds emanating from the bathroom began resembling strange animalistic cries rather than human speech. Whoa! Cut it out, you sound demented. Just a little farther up, please. Here? Yeah, right there. There. I made you itchy, I'll bet. Alright, hold still. It didn't take long for Seiko's back to become completely enveloped in soap suds. But I could still detect a reaction to my every touch. Yes, she loves you. Don't tell me you're ticklish. Guess the secret's out. I'm really, really ticklish. Well, in that case, it's a thorough washing you shall get. Yeah, you're on the offensive today, aren't you? Wait, stop! What was that? I couldn't hear you over the sound of my furious finger work. I was on, for sure, and nothing was going to stop me from giving Seiko's back the full treatment. After all, homeroom today was spent setting up for the culture festival, so we both got pretty dusty, and nice scrubbing is exactly what we both needed. Stop squirming, hold still. Hey Ace, how's it going? Man, Seiko, you're really slender. Your shoulder blades are incredible, like a cat's. Are they? I can't really see them, so I wouldn't know, but for you, it's all about that sexy, sexy collarbone. Yes. What? You sound like an old fogey or something. But so beautiful and so big! I don't think that's my collarbone you're staring at. As I gazed at Seiko staring at my chest with hungry eyes, I suddenly had another flash of deja vu. An uncomfortable one, my eyes drifted to her neck. There was some sort of mark there, a bruise that wrapped all the way around. Seiko, what happened to your neck? Did you scratch yourself or something? Something there? It's pretty faint, but there's a red mark. Don't remember injuring myself or anything. The bruise on her neck, though. The news on her back, though slight, looked less spotty than you'd expect, as if it were made by human hands. It seemed more even like it came from cloth. Probably a result of wearing her kimono cord tied around her neck all day for the Red Bean soup stand. What a shame to see her pure white skin so damaged. I hope it heals soon, whatever it is. I worked. That was about it. Naomi? I can't hold back any longer. What now? I've just gotta grab that ass. I love Seiko. Yeah. Chase on! Seiko, seriously, cool down, girl. I think you've gone totally mental on me. I just can't help myself. You know, we do have a spare futon. Don't worry, I'm fine right where I am. Two people sharing a single bed would make for a warm night, but if either of us rolled over, the other was going to wind up clean on the floor. I offered the bed to her and was perfectly willing to spend the night on a rolled-out futon, but she wouldn't have it. Well, as long as you don't feel too crowded, I guess this is fine. It's all warm and cozy. I love it. If only I could kiss you like this, I'd die a happy woman. With that, she puckered her lips into a shape resembling the number 3 and looked at me expectantly. What had gotten into her? No, we'd better not. Happy woman or no, I'd hate to see you die. Ah, damn, hoisted. I was just thinking, this is really fun. It was around the point when I started to realize the truth about Seiko. After all, if an outsider were to witness her blatant act of harassment and my complete dismissal of it, they'd assume we were more than friends, too. But it's not like I was actually in love with her. I really didn't feel that way at all. I just thought of her as a very dear friend, and figured this closeness we had was pretty normal. It seemed natural, in fact, that our behavior would lead to a third-party misunderstanding every now and again, and I just have to set the record straight. But honestly, even when situations like that arose, they were pretty fun in their own strange, silly sort of way. You know, this is the first time we've ever had a friend over. This is my first sleepover, too. Sure beats lying in bed alone, I'll tell you what. Oh, you okay? I might have slapped you a little too hard back there. You sure did put your back into it, I slugger. But don't worry, I'll be just fine. Okay. Seiko was rubbing her face, lightly where I struck her, but smiling from cheek to cheek. Sorry again. Hey, how about I come over to stay at your place next time? What do you say? Oh, I say yes. That way I can introduce you to the little ones. You are absolutely welcome any time. Thanks. The moonlight crept its way in through my bedroom window, giving the whole room a dreamlike glow. Soon enough, I was beginning to nod off. Where was I? Was I dreaming? No, it was just a room. I could feel Seiko's warmth next to me. Or maybe I was somewhere else entirely, and this whole world, all of my life's experiences, were just one big dream. Man, it's hard to form a coherent thought when you're dead tired. Well, tomorrow's a big day. Let's get some sleep. You said it. From a sleepover right into a culture festival. We're true challengers. Don't you dare oversleep. If you do, I'm pulling back the blankets and putting an ice pack on your stomach. No, don't worry about that. I'm such an early riser. I put middle-aged women to shame. I'll hold you to that. Anyway, good night, Seiko. Good night. Wow, that was quick. Seiko must have been exhausted. Her calm, telltale grunts and rhythmic breathing signifying that she was out cold and it was contagious. I couldn't get over just how much warmth her body was generating. The previous night was so cold, but this was perfect. She was like a hot water bottle. So warm. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're awake? I can hear your voice even from the deepest sleep, Naomi. You experienced that from during class, remember? Is that some kind of ESP or something? And wait, were you sleeping during class? That's not good. Hey, I have a question. In the future, even after you get married, will you still spend time with me like this? What? Of course I will. Talk about a bolt from the blue. For true? For true. I mean, we're friends, you know. Through thick and thin, and we always will be. Thanks. Man, you're really a spaz sometimes, you know that? Seiko yanked the covers over her head like some girly anime heroine. If she really did think of me as more than a friend, how am I supposed to react? Naomi? Let's always be together. You bet. Good night, Seiko. Good night. Seiko and I seemed to be thinking the same thing. We were both so happy, but there was another side to the coin. There was a certain awkwardness as well. It was a strange sensation. Soon enough, Seiko began moaning and breathing heavily for real. She had fallen asleep, facing me, curled into a fetal position. As I lay there staring at her head, my hand moved of its own volition and began gently stroking her hair. Strangely, it didn't feel awkward or embarrassing at all, perhaps because I knew she was asleep. It just felt natural. I slid my hand more toward her back and continued rubbing her head gently, like a mother would her child's. What a lovely shape her head was, perfectly round. I just kept stroking her hair, thinking about this and that. Suddenly she clung to me and buried her face into my chest. Was she still half awake? What a strange scene this was, but just for tonight I was willing to let it slide. There, good girl, good girl. Oh, Seiko, you died. It's supposed to rain all evening, so make sure you take an umbrella with you. Got it. Thanks for the loaner. Have fun today, and Shinohara, you'd be sure to think about where to go on that date of ours. Yes, mother. She's not your mother, you know. Seiko had woken up ungodly early and pulled my futon away, forcing me up with a chill and a sneeze. We both combed our hair and put on our school uniforms and scarfed down the breakfast my mom made and flew out of the house. If we didn't hurry, we'd be late for setting up. I don't know why I like that tune. Things are looking pretty grand this year, too. Yeah, it's really coming together. But I forgot. I have to go get the bowls from the prep room. Seiko, you go on ahead to class, will you? Roger that. Oh, and I'll take your bag for you. Give it here. Thanks. It was the day of the Culture Festival, or Kisaragi Fest. Our school has a whole lot of history to it, and this festival had been part of it for ages. Every student in the junior and senior high alike was busy getting ready for the festivities, which were due to start in around 30 minutes. I wondered if it had any extra time afterwards to go check out the class's projects. We'd previously washed the bowls we were planning to use and laid them out at home in the home ec prep room. With these bowls in hand, I proceeded towards class 2-9. I climbed the usual staircase and headed toward the usual room, stepping carefully so I wouldn't drop any dish. The plan this year was to host a red bean soup restaurant. I could smell the sweet red bean paste more and more clearly with every step I took. I'd eaten so much food at breakfast, and here we had even more food rearing its head. But when it comes to sweets, I say bring it on. Morning, everyone. These look like there'll be enough bowls for today, don't you think? Good morning. Morning. Yeah, that looks like it'll be plenty. Hey. Morning, Kishinuma. Morning, Satoshi. Naomi. Satoshi seemed a bit out of sorts. He was just staring blankly. Was he still half asleep? It bothered me to see him like that, but I literally had my hands full, so I really couldn't dwell on it. I pushed on into the classroom. But I couldn't actually see what was in front of my feet, and I have to admit, it was kind of scary. It'd be a real challenge not to drop anything. Naomi! Good morning, my dear. Seiko, stop grabbing my ass. Haven't we already said our good mornings anyway? Oh, but how can I resist an opportunity like this? Naomi, hands restricted, unable to fend off my advances. Hey! Look what you did! Oh, now that's no good. Our tableware has to be kept clean. Guess we'll have to go wash it all again. Here, I'll help. Thanks. Sorry for the trouble. And so began the Culture Festival. All day we wore the clothes Suzumoto prepared for us and served red bean soup to our classmates. Or schoolmates. She had a lot of costuming experience, having worked on that side of things in the drama club for quite some time. She even did the sewing herself, putting all her practice to the test, and the kimonos she prepared for us really were of exceptional quality. So good, in fact, that they became a centerpiece for us, bringing in students from the junior and senior high divisions alike. It made for a busy day. When we were tending to customers, we were chasing after that slacker Kishinuma, or taking time to check out some of the other class projects. In the end, not only did we have a really fun day, we also wound up being the most popular classroom in the whole festival. All in all, a rousing success. Woo! Finally, the crux? Oh, God. Having astigmatism is not my friend. Finally, the clock struck 6. As our busy day drew to a close, we all stood around talking. We kept saying we should clean up, but that kind of didn't happen. Before I knew it, there was only 7 of us left. In the room, Satoshi, the class rep, Seiko, Morishige, Kishinuma, Suzumoto, and myself. It seemed everyone else had already gone home. Our homeroom TA, Miss Shishido, showed up with Satoshi's little sister in tow, but they were it. We 9 became the de facto cleanup crew. Finally done. Good work, everyone. The place is looking like a real classroom again. Those dumbasses who went home without helping are sure going to get a piece of my mind tomorrow, though. Not much of a class rep if I can't even hold everyone together long enough to clean up after ourselves. Though you did manage to keep Kishinumi here, surprisingly. Oh, shut up. Suzumoto, I just wanted to say it's been really fun having you here these last few months. I can't tell you how many times your positive energy helped bolstered my spirits. Always remember that you are loved and respected. You may not have said much to that effect, but we've all been watching you blossom here. I lent a hand where I could and did my best to help you out, guide you. But ultimately, you walked your own path and have become a fine young woman. Miss Yui. It takes a special person to achieve what you've done without even realizing it. It's been an honor to serve as your homeroom TA. I wish you all the best in your new school. Thank you. Unfortunately, this teary farewell brought us all back to reality. During the holiday following the Culture Festival, Suzumoto was being transferred. This was to be your last day at Kisaragi Academy High School. Everyone here loved her, so this was a sad occasion indeed. She was truly a kind person, possessing no ulterior motives and harboring no ill will toward anyone. The thought of her leaving was just plain depressing. But time waits for no one, and sadly the time had come to say our goodbyes. As one final hurrah, our occult-obsessed class rep asked us to perform such friendship ritual called Sachiko Ever After. Upon mentioning it, she produced a paper doll from her bag. It looked a lot like those proxy dolls you'll sometimes see in Shinto shrines, designed to absorb bad karma in somebody's place. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. Yeah. Nope. No plans this weekend. Unless I get some work. Usually this whole thing just seemed like a setup for a cursed seance or something. It was kind of scary, and I wasn't the only one who thought so. It's a charm that I found on the internet. If we do it right, that all of us will be together forever. Or we'll always be friends. Anyway, that's the gist of it. Interesting. But how does it work? No, don't do this. Seriously, don't do this. It's dangerous. Our lives are on the line. Satoshi. Don't you think you're going a bit overboard? Look, I'm not joking. I'm dead serious here. Satoshi's always been easily spooked, and in true form he was pleading for his life like we stopped... He was pleading for his life that we stop what we were doing. It didn't sound that scary, though. Don't worry, Mochita. This isn't my usual creepy fare. I gotta say, it's rare to see you get this worked up. In the end, 8 of us proceeded with the ritual as planned, while Satoshi sat it out on the side, tears in his eyes. I kind of felt bad for him. But this was for Suzumoto. We all wanted to give her the best possible send-off, so all I could really do was silently wonder what had gotten into him. Please, I'm begging you, stop this. Don't go through with it. Why won't anyone listen to me? He's really serious, like, as serious as I've ever seen him. What is it, Satoshi? What is it that has you so worried? It's a time loop. This has happened for all of us. I remember it, and what's coming next is worse than you can possibly imagine. Sorry, but I'm through trying to convince you. Just be a good boy and wait for us to finish, okay? A time loop. Is he experiencing deja vu like me? Is some new destiny being born inside of him, like the class rep had said before? Come to think of it, this does feel a little familiar. This room, this atmosphere, this charm. I obediently dug my nails into the paper doll, but all the while I was frantically foraging through my memories, trying to figure out what I was missing. We're going to pull on it until it rips apart into 9 pieces, okay? On the count of 3. With a pallid face, Satoshi quickly rushed over and grabbed the paper doll himself. He was joining us after all, it seemed. Everyone else smiled at him as if to say, finally, you've come to your senses, but I was just starting to get a really bad feeling about this. No, there's definitely something wrong here. Ready? 1, 2... The other dimension you go. Bad idea. No. As soon as I reached the hallway, I fell to my knees with a thud. No. What was that? A person. It was pitch black, but I swear it was shaped like a person. The school infirmary door hung open near me, and in my panic state, I swore I'd seen a black, shadowy figure within it. No. My mind had completely overtaken with fear. What was that? What just happened? That dark, misty entity came toward me and entered my body. From every orifice, it came in through my ears, through my mouth. I felt an enormous lump in my throat, blocking the flow of air into my lungs and momentarily teetering me on the brink of unconsciousness. I was almost killed. It felt as if the cold hand reached into my body and grabbed hold of my life's energy, turning all my internal organs inside out and leaving me for dead. My stomach was churning, my bowels were on fire, and my legs were all twisted around themselves. Can pressure alone disrupt the human body this much? The odor and flavor of my own gastric juices still gnawing on the back of my throat. I felt like I was going to throw up again, but held it in. I remember this. This place, these circumstances. I've been here before. I know I have. After performing the Sachiko ever after Richard, there was a hellish noise, and a huge hole appeared in the floor, and then I was here, in the school. There was no sign of Satoshi or Mrs. Shishido, the class rep, or anyone else. Only Seiko was still near me, collapsed in a heap on the floor. Seiko and I explored the decaying building as best we could, but there was no way out. Not a single window or outer door could be moved or even broken. Just as our last shred of hope had begun to vanish, we suddenly heard Satoshi's little sister, Yuka, cry out from somewhere out of sight. I had sprained my ankle pretty badly and couldn't walk very well, so Seiko went off alone to find her while I rested up in the infirmary. And that's when the dark, shadowy figure showed up and began attacking me. I was scared, so very scared. My teeth were chattering, my lips were quivering as if they had a mind of their own. Why would she leave me alone like that? I told her I'd go with her to look for Yuka, so why? Why did she leave me behind? Was I going to slow her down? Was I going to get in her way? Naomi, what happened? Are you okay? Seiko. What? Oh my god, are you alright? I'm so sorry I left you by yourself. Just seeing Seiko's face quelled my shivers. Whenever she's around, I feel so at ease, and at that moment, I just wanted to cling onto her and cry my eyes out. I should have done it, but instead... Just leave me alone. Do you have any idea how scared I was? I'm sorry, Naomi. Come on, let's try to find a way out of here together. What's the point? Just forget about it. Leave it alone. We're never getting out of here. Maybe it was the safety of Seiko's presence that did it, but all the fear welling up in me suddenly turned to anger. I was like a spoiled child. Nothing good could come of lashing out like this. Seiko didn't do anything wrong. I knew that, but I couldn't stop myself from saying what I said. She was genuinely concerned about me, and I'd sworn to myself that I'd protect her, but my sense of reasoning was fighting a losing battle. You realize we've gone missing, right? How do you think my mother's going to feel? She's going to be worried sick about me, and there's nothing I can do. Naomi, please don't say things like that. It's going to be alright. Like hell it is. She's going to keep searching for me until the day I finally come home. And she has work, you know. This whole situation is not right. As long as I'm here, I'm nothing but a nuisance to her. I'm a terrible daughter. And we're going to die here anyway, so all of this time spent looking for me will be wasted. By this time, my mind had completely overtaken. I wasn't myself anymore. I was running on my autopilot. Horrified, I was running on autopilot, horrified with the words coming out of my mouth. No, I know how this ends. You're wrong. Families aren't like that. It won't be a nuisance. It won't be a burden, and you're not terrible. I don't know exactly how to say this, but when there are loved ones involved, you'll do anything for them. There it was again, deja vu. Everything was falling into place. I knew what was going to happen. I knew what fate had in store if we continued down this road. But I guess I can see where you're coming from. Your mother is a really kind person. The last thing you'd want to do is worry her. That's why we're going to make sure that doesn't happen, right, Naomi? We need to get back home. I don't know how it is for you and your family, but normal people don't work that way. No, it's happening. Seiko's going to get hanged. She's going to die. I have to apologize. No. I don't want you, of all people, to speak to me like that. Please, Naomi, tell me that's not how you really feel. Seiko. If I didn't say something to calm her down, Seiko would run off, and I knew she couldn't be by herself right now. So I pulled myself together and tried to apologize to her, but the words... Seiko, I'm so... The words wouldn't come. As soon as I tried to form them, something caught itself in my throat. I found myself unable to breathe and doubled over in a fit. Naomi, are you okay? I'm sorry, Naomi. If it's bothering you, I'll go. I hate to leave your side, but if that's what you want, I won't argue. Seiko. Wait. Seiko ran off in the distance, her figure growing smaller and darker until it vanished altogether. I knew I'd made an awful, irreversible mistake. That sense of dread I'd felt moments before had come back full force. I could sense malevolence within me, an outside hand that made me lash out at Seiko. It felt like something was in my mouth. I had no idea what, but there was definitely something in there. I stuck my finger in and tried to dig it out. Ah! My finger found something and pulled out, and from the throat came large clumps of long black hair. I just kept pulling and pulling. I couldn't believe how much there was. The strand stretched all the way from my stomach through my esophagus and into my hands, and even then there was still more to pull. The motion was unnatural and was creating a repulsive, sickening sensation along my tonsils. I felt like I was going to throw up again. Where the hell did all this hair come from? Was this all stuck in my throat? It was only a faint notion before, but now I was certain. I was remembering some future event. I didn't know why or how, but I was repeating time. Am I just not allowed to apologize? I could feel a dark will guiding me. Someone or something wanted Seiko to be killed in this timeline as well. But I wasn't going to let it happen. Not without a fight. I have to go after her. I have to go apologize. I can't leave her alone like this. I ran as quickly as I could in the direction Seiko had gone, but then... No! A fierce earthquake began shaking the building. It was so violent I couldn't even stay standing. I crouched along the ground, waiting for it to pass. Everything was moving, and there were sounds of objects cracking and breaking all around me. Glass was shattering, ceiling tiles were raining down upon me. I was scared for my life, so scared, so very, very afraid. I was certain I was going to die. Maybe a big chunk of ceiling would fall on me, or the floor would open up at my feet and swallow me all. Well, that is kind of how one of the characters dies in the anime. I kept wondering how it was going to end. Was I going to be crushed? How badly would it hurt? How long would it go on before I finally died? My head was swimming with all kinds of the worst case scenarios, while my body just remained motionless on the ground. I'd never felt so helpless before. I didn't even care anymore. I'd take any release I could get to make it stop. But there was no release for me. All I could do was curl up in a ball and pray. I wondered how much time had passed. It could have been only a moment, a few minutes, or even a few hours, for all I knew, but it did finally end, and the dark corridors were silent once more. I gradually loosened my stiff body, uncurling from the floor. Blotches of dust and wood chips fell from my hair. Some of the fighter debris had gotten into my clothes and was crunching around like sand with every movement. It was not pleasant. I brushed myself off as best I could and slowly rose to my feet, slapping my skirt in vain to clear away any excess dust and dirt. The particles in the air were like a white smoke billowing through the pitch-black hallway. It took me a moment to get my bearings. Once I finally did, though, I almost wished I hadn't. The sight before my eyes instantly washed away what little hope I may have had. What? The earthquake had completely caved in part of the floor. It was no longer possible to continue down this hall, no longer possible to trail Seiko. If I had been cowering from the quake only a few feet ahead, I'd be dead for sure. Swallowed up in whatever hell lay down there. I knelt down by the edge of the hole and peered within. It was too dark to tell for sure, but if what I thought was correct, then the ceilings in the school were unreasonably high. To make matters worse, it seemed like the floor directly below had fallen out as well. I didn't dare consider how deep this pit might go. All I knew was I couldn't risk falling into it. Shivering in terror, I pulled myself up. What do? Can I get around it? I have to hurry. I definitely had to hurry. If I didn't, Seiko would commit suicide, but there was still time. I was determined not to let it happen, no matter what. I was going to save her. I was going to change her horrible fate. Search mode. Oh, so there's some game in this. Alright, so I'll have to figure out how to play this. Let's see, what is map LB? Okay. Okay. Oops. Sorry. So that's how we move. That's the hole. There was a mess of blood and entrails on the wall. As if someone were launched across the corridor at tremendous speed and splattered on impact. The smell was positively vile. Seiko had commented on it before, but it was really hitting me now. Every breath I took was triggering my gag reflex. It was all I could do not to vomit again. The door to the science lab is frozen in place, as it's just a decoration on the wall. It can't be opened. Okay. This is interesting. As I wandered through the darkened corridors, every hair on my body was standing at attention. I had goosebumps from head to toe. It felt like a fog of uneasiness was swirling around me with each step I took. And that fog was growing thicker and thicker to such extent that I began fearing the darkness might swallow me whole, and I'd cease to exist. I could feel my sanity slipping away. I didn't know how much longer it would hold out, and I was starting to lose patience. I just wanted to get it over with. Fear was like a slime covering my entire being. No matter how much I wiped, I was only squishing it around. It wouldn't come off. It was stuck fast. I walked around aimlessly, calling out Seiko's name. By doing so, I think I was able to dull my senses and just barely maintain my grip on reality. Seiko, where are you? Please answer me. I was thinking straight. I want to apologize. Ahead, I swore I saw a light glinting off something. It looked for a moment like a web of sinewy string stretched all across the hall. Slowly crept forward until I could confirm that there were, in fact, strands of wire, gently reaching out a finger and touching the closest one. Ow! Yo! I pulled my hand away, looking down at it, and there was now a very fine, clean slice right on the tip of my finger. Tiny red beads were beginning to form. These beads just kept getting bigger and bigger as I watched, eventually swelling into one another and forming a single drop of blood. And that drop quickly became too heavy for its perch. It began winding its way down my hand toward my wrist. Piano wire? No, it's a little different. I couldn't believe it had cut so deeply from just that one faint touch. Had it been sharpened? It really stung. If I hadn't noticed those wires strung up across the hall and had just kept walking, I shuddered to think of what might have happened. Death not from malevolent spirits, but from a mere booby trap. Who could have done this? There was definitely a planned malice behind it. I could sense an ill will in the air and began to tremble. Was someone watching me, even at that very moment? Was someone just waiting for me to fall into their trap and die so they could gloat about it? Is someone there? Hey! It was like an unconscious shout. I couldn't control myself. I was scared, and whoever did this was heartless. I couldn't just let it go. Stop this, please. You're scaring me. Don't do these awful things to people. A bevy of negative emotions began swimming through my head. I suddenly realized I was crying, and I knew that this corridor with its web of razor-sharp piano wire was effectively impassable, at least for the moment. I needed to find some way to cut these wires, or some means of disabling the trap at any rate. I decided to go back the way I came and search the rest of the school for answers. Dark is frozen in place. It's just my decoration. Let's see. Spongy blood red lettering reads, "Getting close to darkness is one way to learn the truth. This whole place is close to darkness after all." Looks like we'll be able to go in that room. But is there anything we need? That's the next question. The following words are scrawled in the blackboard. Your friend is a traitor. You're going to be killed. Run. This shouldn't have been there. It wasn't on the board when I first got here with Seiko. Somebody had to have written it recently, but why to create a rift in our friendship? I didn't know if it was a person or a ghost who did this, but whoever it was a terrible thing to do. This was all really starting to get to me. Is somebody in here? Stop harassing me, whoever you are. I can't take this anymore. I just can't. I didn't even know whom I was angry with, but make no mistakes, I was seething. I was probably really close to my breaking point. I ran out of the room, never pausing to wipe the tears from my eyes. Our goal is to not kill your friend. I'm like half waiting for something to like jump out and scare me. It's more piano wire. There was yet another piece of piano wire in this room, seemingly razor sharp like the others, but only one. I could avoid it easily with some care. What is this thing? In the corner of the room sat an antique mechanical device with a lever attached to it. It prominently featured two wheels with spools of translucent wire collided around them, projecting out towards the ceiling in a perfect tight line. Could this be the source of the booby trap? Pull the lever? Sure. That's a pretty big lever. Wonder if it'll even move. The machine was old and the lever was rusted, so it wasn't going to give without a fight. I could rattle it a little, though, so I figured I'd had a chance. I did it. Huh? It's gone. The piano wire. It's gone. What's that light? There weren't any lights on. The whole school was bathed in darkness, yet in this lone room a small circle of light just kept blinking on and off. It seemed almost as if it would turn on whenever I looked at it and turn off whenever I looked away, or maybe this was just my imagination. But it seemed possible that someone was trying to get my attention. Is anybody here? No response. I began to get more and more creeped out with every passing second. At first I thought maybe somebody was watching me, but now I was almost certain of it. As I got closer to the source of light, the blinking stopped. The light was now fully on. Listen to your teacher. You're going to die now. There are 3 lines of deep scratches on the teacher's podium, all seemingly made by fingernails. What could have happened here? The shelves are littered with dead lice. If one were to rest an arm on these shelves, there is no telling how many might come along for the ride. A flashlight, and it's on. I wonder if this was the source of the blinking light. It did turn steady when I got near the thing, but that's just left me with more questions. Maybe it was just low on batteries, and that's why it kept going on and off. That's what I told myself as I picked up the discarded flashlight. Nothing seemed particularly odd about it. It was just your regular run-of-the-mill flashlight, and it really did seem to be low on batteries. I'd have to make sure to use it sparingly so as not to waste what little energy it had left. There's a bleached white skeleton sprawled out there. Judging by the height and uniform, it appears to be the remains of a male junior high student. Looking closely, there's a faded school name tag attached to his blazer. Shobu University Middle School, Masashi Kiwasaki. Interesting. Oh, the things we learn. As soon as I entered the room, I had a bad feeling about it. The silence was almost deafening. There wasn't a single sound to be heard. This room, and this room alone, felt very different from any other. It's a child's crayon drawing, very vibrant and colorful. The mother's mouth is open, and she seems to be eating a watermelon, perhaps. There are 2 skeleton brains there, both of them mostly white, and at this point they seem to have died huddled up against one another. Both are female and look to be around junior or senior high school. School name and tag teach the reins of the uniforms. Karusuyama High School, Miki Sato. Sato Yuzuki. I ate a student today. I was hungry, so I had to. Plus, we played rock, paper, scissors, and I lost. I thought I'd lose to an adult, but I didn't. It's full of dirty tissues. This kind of turns the stomach, but best not to look any closer. Best just to walk away. There's a large hole on the floor, too big to jump across. Getting to the other side won't be possible from here. Oh, what? Who? Nakashima grade 3, room A. Nakashima grade 3, room A. Please return to class immediately. Who, me? You're next. What the hell does that mean? Some sort of mechanism with a lever attached to it. Pull the lever. Pull it. Ugh. Oh. Phew. What a strange contraption. Pulling the lever made a retractable floor would extend outward over the floor, but also restrung all the piano wire. I had to be careful not to touch any of it, even if I even slightly brushed up against a single strand. At the base of the staircase, no less, but a specific place to put it. It should be possible to use the stairs, but with that piano wire is ready to sharp, best to go slow and take care not to forget about it later on. What? Alright. Bathroom. It's gonna be upstairs. Oh. It is the bathroom. Oh, this room is completely boarded up. It won't be possible to get inside. It's an old rusty bucket full of maggots. Best to keep your distance. Yeah, I'm scared I'm gonna end up killing her still. Like, I feel like I'm making bad choices. Shaky fade lettering could just barely be made out on the fold filler, but put it out of your mind. Don't worry. Eat, laugh, go nuts, let the darkness in. Suddenly I felt sickness in a pit of my stomach. It was almost unbearable. Felt like I was forgetting something absolutely crucial. Something I was consciously trying to forget, but absolutely had to remember no matter what. Yes. Bring the bucket ahead of time. The board should be sturdy enough to get you across to the other side, where some sort of mechanism with a conspicuous lever waits. Both and neither. How cruel a person choice. Alright, let's see. Nakashima grade 3, room A. Nakashima grade 3, room A. Please return to class immediately. Fortunately, he likes to play it out even though I don't have the... I'm from Kisaragi Academy grade 2-9. Just stop it, please. You've got the wrong person. If I ignore it, what happens? I felt bad feeling in the room. It hurts. Die, just die. I'll kill you. Anger, curse, no hope of rescue. Spill your blood. Oh, I'm so scared, so scared, so scared. I hate dark places. 12 dirty tissues. Looks like a pomegranate. Did someone draw over it in fluorescent paint? It gives me the creeps. We want to save Seiko. We must save Seiko. Yes. If we don't, we fail. We're going up. Going on the ref room. I don't know. Wonder if the reference room is frozen in place. No, we cannot. Oh, there's a body. The decomposing coast smells ghastly. Judging by height and uniform, this was probably once a male senior high student. His school name tag seems to be survival intact, prominently displaying it on his now damp and discolored blazer. Matsukaze Prefectural High School, Kazuhiro Murufushi. Oh, that was fun. Guess we're going to 2A. Might be dangerous. Excuse me. Okay, so nothing changed there. Why is there blood on my... Return to class immediately. I'm not going back to class, darling. Shut up, shut up, shut up. It just opened on its own. Come on in. What? Ah! Come on in. Some unknown force lifted me off my feet and pulled me into the classroom. It was so dark in there that I couldn't even see my hand in front of my face. I'm glad you've come. There's no time to lose. The examination is about to begin. Please remove your jacket. That's a good girl. Now lie down on the bed. Not sure what else to do. I pulled out the flashlight and pointed in the direction of the creepy voice. was that? I'm not really sure where it wants me to go. But we're getting there slowly. I don't like this place. The infirmary was where I got attacked. I didn't want to stay in there any longer than I had to. That horrible sensation of my body being overcome by that hair-like mist was something I never hoped to experience again as long as I lived. First and foremost, you may stretch both arms, both legs from laying down. Yeah, okay. Dust, there's nothing here. No, there isn't. Good. There's a photo here. The paper was cracked and warped in various spots, and the picture itself was in black and white. Clearly, this was not a recent photograph. It was just a simple shot of a man looking directly at the camera. He had a formal air to him, as if it were used for an arranged marriage interview. I wonder who this is. Was he the man who worked at this desk, or a family member, maybe? Lots of stuff on the shelf. Unidentified meat. The old heater. Alright. Oops. Going back into 2A might be a bad idea. Sometimes I don't know. I definitely want to save Seiko, but I could fail. It's back to normal. Oh, there it goes. Let's go upstairs real quick. At least if something's meant to happen in the hall, it happens, and you don't have to pick correctly for it to happen, because that sucks. Watch me just walk into the wires and die, because I clicked over it. how much I wandered, I just couldn't seem to figure out where Seiko had run off to. And I'd been teased from the shadows and frightened the whole time I was searching. I couldn't take much more of it. I was losing my mind. When I came back to my senses, I found myself standing in the hallway on the 3rd floor in the school building. I began to doubt myself, to doubt the fainted events that lay ahead and whatever these horrific future memories. It couldn't actually happen, right? I had no real reason to doubt the things I'd been envisioning, of course, but I kept telling myself it was all just paranoia. I'd experienced deja vu many times in my life. Ever since I was a little girl, I didn't even have to mean anything. Someone once told me that deja vu was just the brain recognizing a similar situation from one's past and making a false connection and pulling the wrong file. Please, no more. Seiko! Seiko, please don't leave me by myself. I basically lost all ability to reason, as if my mind had been taken over by some outside force. I broken down on the spot and began crying. What's that? A loud sound caught my attention. It sounded like someone kicking a wall. I shot up from the ground as if I were yanked. As it rose, my brain began recognizing a similar situation from the past. A file was being pulled. No. Sounds of struggling began from inside the bathroom stall. It's exactly the same. Grab the bucket first. There was an eerie stillness in the air within the girls' lavatory. It didn't feel like there was anyone else in here with me, but I sensed a slight movement on the 3rd stall door from the back, as if it were just closed. My heart was racing. I was so nervous. It felt like all the blood in my body had begun flowing in reverse behind this door. Seiko, where are you? I miss you. Just looking at the news sent a wave of dark feelings through my mind. The specter of death was right in front of me, preparing its fangs. I went too much longer without finding her. Ah! The same dull thud echoed again from behind me. Startled, I turned back toward the stall. No one was there, so what was I hearing? The wall. There's a breeze coming from behind it. I stepped inside and began lightly knocking on the back wall in several different spots. It's hollow. Looking closely, the wall did jet out very slightly right behind the exact spot. Unconsciously, I pushed on it. And a small piece of paneling swung out into the open space like a door. It was well hidden, to say the least. Never once would I have guessed there'd be a hidden door behind this particular bathroom stall. That is a little weird. It's really dark in here. The room was extremely narrow, making it feel longer than it was. You could fit maybe 2 tatami mats on the ground here, end to end. The hole was cut into the floor in the back, outfitted with a ladder leading down into the main school building below. I peered down the hole, but could see no signs of the floor, nor the end of the ladder. This thing could lead all the way to a ground level, or even farther. Whether due to pressure differentials or the breeze in the air, the secret door suddenly shut itself behind me. That must have been what I was hearing earlier. A wretched smell was wafting up from below, hardly a surprise given where I was. I didn't want to imagine what unspeakable things might await me at the bottom of the ladder. What if Seiko had gone this way? I shook off my misgivings and began descending. Watch her just die another way. Shudder, shiver. I wondered if maybe this ladder ended in a garbage dump or something. I stopped in my tracks to consider turning back, but I didn't want to miss something and have to do this again later, so I figured I might as well tough it out and see what I might find at the bottom. I was waffling between my desire to be thorough and my instinct to turn back, but I kept climbing down all the while holding a breath as much as I could. Sure is wet. If I'm not careful, I might... Oh, ew, what? I'm really glad it's not a garbage dump. Better than a body dump. I seemed to be in a cave-like room with muddy walls and a dirt floor. Looking up, I could see a very faint light coming from the hole I just climbed through, but the whole area was otherwise pitch black. There doesn't seem to be anything to find here at all. I'll probably just be wasting my time. While surveying my surroundings the best I could, I attempted to stand up, but that didn't go very well. Ow, what the hell? My ankle had swollen pretty badly and felt like it was on fire. It was the same sprained ankle Seiko had tended earlier. I must have landed on it when I slipped on the ladder, aggravating it further. No, why is this happening? I made another attempt to get up, this time onto my good ankle. If I shifted my weight to the majority of it rested on that leg, maybe I could walk. Ow. No such luck. I wasn't going anywhere. I was stuck in this dark, dank cave where no one would ever find me with a ladder I couldn't use. My leg had begun going numb, and the pain from my ankle was almost unbearable. No, I have to get out of here. I have to. Leaning on the wall for support, I attempted to stand once more, this time holding my sprained ankle in the air as best I could. I placed both my hands on the ladder, and it was no use. I couldn't even make the first step. Bolstering my strength, I figured I'd give jumping a try, even if it was only with one leg. But as soon as the other one came in contact with the bottom rung of that wet, slippery ladder, I could feel myself turning pale. I was well and truly stuck. This was no joke. I was frantic. I tried climbing the ladder again and again, but just kept finding myself sprawled unceremoniously across the ground. I couldn't even say how many times I challenged those damn rungs. I even searched the walls nearby for another way out, but it was simply no use. Tears were welling up in my eyes uncontrollably. I'm so sorry, Seiko. I can't make it. I can't save you. And then all of a sudden, I sensed a person in front of me. If you want to find your friend, you can't just give up. I was impressed you made it this far. You've done well. Oh, it's you bitch. It was a little girl. She was just there, and she spoke to me in a very comforting voice. Then she hugged me tightly, as if trying to enshroud my head with her being. There, it'll all be alright. I'll let you see her. If you'd like, will you listen to what I have to say? I didn't care who. I didn't care if it was a person or a ghost. I just wanted anybody to save Seiko. Good girl. Good girl, that's a good girl. Everything's going to be okay. Painful memories, you see, are the funniest of them all. Ooh. Naomi, you insensitive jerk. No, I shouldn't say that about her. It was my fault. Naomi was just scared, and after what she went through, I don't blame her. She's always been so cheery and so kind. But I brought out all her pain, all her tears. And that's the one thing a friend should never do. A smile suits her face best of all. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Naomi. I'm sorry for making you so sad. I feel so lost without you. It's the same for me, Seiko. Seiko, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I just want us to be together forever. Naomi, when I'm with you, don't I make you mad? Don't I rub you the wrong way and make things unbearable for you? Of course you don't. That was just me being stubborn and pouting and behaving like a spoiled brat. Oh. Seiko approached me with arms outstretched. She wanted to hug me and I immediately obliged without the slightest hesitation. This was Seiko, warm and alive, soft and smelling, lovely as usual. I'll never let you go again. Me either. You better not. There's a Japanese-style room over there. No tatami mats and everything. We should go sit down and try to calm our nerves a little. A break sounds nice. Let's go. Custodian closet. This is the one of those doors that wouldn't open, isn't it? Huh. Oh, I passed out earlier, I guess. When I came to, I was lying down in this room. I was someplace underground, I think, with no way out, and then I saw a little girl. Was it? For the life of me, I couldn't remember clearly. That's really odd. Maybe you have a guardian angel on your side, or a ghost. Come on, don't say that. Well, remember that the spirit told us when we first got here. He said not all ghosts are bad. Not all bad, huh? They would calmly open the door and step into the custodian closet. I could hardly believe this was the same person who got scared out of her mind at the first sight of a ghost only a few hours before. You seem a lot more fearless now than you were when we got here, Seiko. Or is that just me? As long as you're around, Naomi, I feel like I've got nothing at all to be scared of. It's all well and good, but just make sure you don't let your guard down, okay? There weren't any working lights in the custodian's closet, but it definitely felt a lot safer in here than it did out in the creepy, creaky hallways. The two of us plopped down next to one another on the Tommy. For a long while, neither of us said a word. I guess we weren't sure what to talk about. I'm so glad you're okay, Seiko. You too, Naomi. How's the ankle? Still hurt? I feel like it did really badly for a while, but it's totally fine at the moment. Glad to hear it. Did you manage to find your paper doll scrap? No, it's still missing. Guess I must have dropped it somewhere else, and finding anything in this place is quite a feat. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, but but when we get back, we can always ask the class rep to perform the ritual again. Don't do that, then we can get you a replacement. That's true. Once we calmed down a bit, we reached a point where we simply didn't want to leave the room anymore. We had no desire to go back to those halls. So we didn't. We stayed right here where we were for a really long time, just chattering endlessly with one another, casual as can be. About class and the festival and our sleepover the previous night, ordinary, everyday conversation. But then I happened to look over and catch Seiko staring at me. Yeah, totally. Seiko, is something wrong? No, it's nothing. It was too dark to see Seiko's features in any great detail, but something seemed amiss. It was her face. She was blushing. Naomi? This is hard for me to say. But, well, what is it? She had an uncharacteristically serious expression on her face and seemed really nervous. What was it, Seiko? What were you trying to tell me? Never you mind. Come on now. Now my curiosity's killing me. Just spit it out already. Promise you won't laugh? Eh. If you don't want me to, then I won't. Okay, because I'm totally serious. Oh? My heart skipped a beat. This was the beginning. How could I have been so dense all this time? So we have no idea what's going to happen to us in here. There's something I really need to tell you. Okay. Seiko's focus changed. Her gaze was now directed squarely at my lips. Wait, was this... Will you, kiss me? I want to kiss you. Why? Because I love you. As a friend, right? Seiko didn't say words. She just shook her head fervently. I was dumbfounded. Was she confessing to me? I hadn't had a boy confess to me yet. She hung her head low, staring down at her feet. My silence seemed almost like it was causing her physical pain. She looked like she might explode. I couldn't see her face clearly, but I was certain she must have been quivering and blushing from ear to ear. You're serious? I'd marry you if I could. I want to kiss you and hug you too. That was the first time I'd ever heard Seiko speak so softly, or with such a stammer in her voice. Before I knew it, I was crying. I had no idea why. Seiko, I'm sorry, Oh. I ran out of the room and just took off down the hall. I still couldn't tell why I was crying. It's like I was scared, or maybe I was happy, or maybe I just lost a friend. I needed to calm down. The Seiko I was friends with wasn't gone. She hadn't been lost. Regardless of whether or not I was able to return her feelings, I owed her at least a thank you. Seiko must have been pretty deep in regret by that point. I need to get back to her. I need to let her know that I would still stand by her. I was suddenly distracted by the sound of dripping water nearby. It was as if someone had left a faucet on, but only just, and it was slowly spilling out onto the floor. Where was it? It sounded close, yet there was no sign of running water anywhere that I could see. I had a bad feeling that this whole idea that if you were in like a situation like this in a haunted school, that if something like that happened, you just run out and off into nowhere. It's like, no, that's not even realistic. You don't do that. All I knew was it was close. Like, really close. Wait, no, it couldn't be. I looked down at my feet and I gasped. An unpleasant-looking black fluid was running down my thighs and pooling up on the floor beneath my feet, and it wasn't stopping. Ew, what the hell? What is this? I accidentally collected a bit of it on my finger and studied it. It wasn't blood. It was almost tar-like in consistency, smooth and vicious. And it seemed to be faintly glowing as well. Why was something like this coming out of my body? Going to wipe my finger on my skirt and shift it in place, only to lose my footing and fall backwards, landing hard on my rear. I put my hands on the side of my head, closed my eyes, and screamed. I'd reached my limit. I just wanted all this to be over. But try as I might to shut out the world was determined not to be ignored. It was like heaven and earth were moving all around me. I felt dizzy. It was like my soul and my body were separating. I became acutely aware of my own mass and started obsessing over it. It was so heavy. My head, in particular, the human cranium, weighs about 5 kilograms. I could feel every last gram straining my neck muscles. It was hurting my back. What's happening? I'm losing consciousness. Can't open my eyes. All the blood in my body came rushing up to my head. Why was this happening? I could feel the blood vessels in my face pressing against my skin. I could see blood behind my eyelids. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts so much. The blood just kept coming. It wouldn't stop. It felt as my blood vessels, my eyes, my whole head could burst at any moment. Somebody please save me. Seiko! Be careful. You're about to fall into the valley of past and future memories. Just as my last vestiges of consciousness were fading, I heard a little girl's voice, but I was in pain. I was weighed down. I couldn't open my eyes. If you wish to save your friend, you'll need to overcome fate itself. What are you saying? The heaviness in my head grew at an alarming rate, and I heard a tearing sound behind my ears. It was the sound of a major blood vessel breaking wide open. I was certain I was going to die, but then the pain and dizziness simply vanished. I had the sensation of a faint shimmering before my eyes, and I wondered if maybe I could open them now. Slowly and carefully, I relaxed the muscles that were so forcefully and fearfully holding my eyelids shut. Where am I? This isn't Heavenly Host. I knew exactly where I was. I'd seen this image a million times before. I'd seen it just this morning with Seiko. This was my house. Am I really home? Was it all a dream, maybe? Mom, I'm home. Something wasn't right. My field of vision was low to the ground, and everything around me looked so much larger than it should. What was going on? Naomi, guess what? I brought you a cat. Dad? You've always been so mature, watching the house all by yourself when you were away. Come on, pet it. Isn't she great, Naomi? Ah, Mom? Now you have someone to keep you company. Sorry we're always so late coming home from work, sweetie. It's so nice that we can trust you, though. I'm really sorry, but now you won't be lonely anymore, right? Stop this. May would spend half her time indoors and the other half in the backyard, as if she were out of the pasture or something. It may not have been much land, but that was her territory, and she rarely ventured outside of it. Once I was so upset that my parents were going to be late coming home from work again that I scooped up May and ran away from home for a little while. Papa and Mama, I hate you. Stop it. It's because you're here, May. Because you're here, Papa and Mama don't think they have to come home. It's your fault, you know. Naomi, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? Where did you and May run off to? I'm sorry, May. I don't want us to be apart. I said a really mean thing to you, May. I'm so sorry. Now, it's all right, Naomi. May will always be there for you. She loves you, you know. She can sense exactly how you feel, and she's very understanding. It wasn't long after that May ran away. I searched for her every day through teary eyes, but in the end she never did come home. It's such a pity. I guess even cats get strange ideas in their heads from time to time. That wasn't it. And you two were such good friends, too. I did this. We'll make a new friend in no time. You just need to put this out of your mind and move on. It's because May was so understanding and kind-hearted that she disappeared from my life. If only I hadn't said what I said to her. May, come back, please. May. May. You never change, do you? Mom? Mom, where are you? She's not here. Naomi? Seiko. Seiko, are you alright? I've been looking all over you. I'm so sorry about before. She didn't respond, but she didn't have to. This was definitely Seiko. I can't see you very well. Come a little closer, please. Let me see your face. I drew in toward Seiko, who was sitting on the ground, and rested my head on her shoulder. Then I wrapped my arms around her. I still couldn't see her face. I thought it might be because of the dim lighting in the room. But no, this wasn't it. Something was very wrong here. Seiko wasn't moving an inch, and that's when I realized. Her skin was cold. She's dead. Wait, where was I? Was I at home, or was I in Heavenly Host? The last thing I remembered was frantically trying to find her again. I could smell incense from somewhere far off. I finally realized that this wasn't reality. Now arriving at Kishi Station. No, this person sitting perfectly still on the floor and not saying a word. This wasn't Seiko. So who was it? Naomi. Within the unyielding darkness, I knew that whoever it was taking Seiko's shape was coming toward me. She's here. She's right here next to me. I can feel her breath. I can sense her presence. Who are you? I'm your friend with the broken neck, remember? This is the future where you make me die. No. Why did you leave me by myself back there after I finally managed to get back together too? I was so worried that I'd hurt you, so worried, and that's why things turn out this way. No, don't say that. As I lay there stricken with grief, I heard the footsteps of a child approach. I looked up and saw a little girl with a red dress standing over me. Do you want to save your friend no matter what it takes? What are you? I'm the one who controls the fate of this world. I had no clue what she meant by that, but I remember that she'd been giving me advice this whole time. She had a different air about her than the other spirits around the school building. I felt like maybe she was on my side. I want to save her, please. If there's some way to do it, tell me how. I'll give you another chance, remember. Think hard. What you've just seen are events from your past, which is also the future through which your spirit now passes. In other words, this isn't the first time you've experienced this sequence of events, but you already knew that, didn't you? This sort of thing doesn't happen. It should have This sort of thing doesn't happen. It should have sounded like complete nonsense to me. But I didn't say a word, I just nodded. There were only fragments, but nonetheless, I was seeing crystal clear visions of what I can only assume was my first time experiencing these events. That sense of deja vu I'd been feeling wasn't just some crazy delusion or misidentified nerve impulse in my brain. It was real. And you've also already seen the trigger event from which your despair originated. So now you fight against this fated demise. Well, yeah, that's so not her voice. She's got a very creepy voice. But anyway. When I came back to my senses, I found myself standing in the hallway on the 3rd floor of the school building. When did I get here? How long had I been there? I looked down and sure enough there was a puddle of black all around me. It was that vicious fluid that had been spilling out from me in my insides, a palpable manifestation of dread spreading out across the floor. But this was no time to sulk. I had to think about Seiko. I'd left her all by herself again. I wonder if she's still in the custodian room. That sound. It was coming from inside the bathroom. There was a violent banging coming from one of the stalls, with a lump in my throat and a shiver down my spine until I crept to take a look. Take the bucket with you. There were an eerie stillness in the air within the girl's lavatory. It didn't feel like there was anyone else in there with me, but I sensed slight movement in the third stall door from the back. Stay calm, This is it. This is what you've been afraid of, but it's also what I've been preparing myself for. This was the source of all the bad feelings and uncomfortable premonitions I've been having. I knew what I was going to find. I remember this future. This was the future I absolutely had to prevent from coming to pass. The image of what waited me for in the stall had burned into my memory. Grab the bucket. And it was now a reality. Seiko. Seiko, you're still alive. I'll save you. There it was again, a flash of the sad future that obeyed me as if I made even one wrong move here, but there was still time. I could still save her. Hold on, I'll get you down. But how? Her noose was pretty high off the ground. I needed some way to get up to her neck high in the corner, to pull her down safely, something to stand on. It didn't work when we used it. It didn't work when we used the bucket and thing. No, I remember now. The bottom of that bucket is rusted through. I fall and I wind up breaking Seiko's neck. Oh, that's what happened. There must be another way, some way to loosen the rope so she can breathe. Though only half conscious, Seiko was thrashing about while frantically squirming for air. It seemed automatic, like a reflex, the body's struggle for life. It was being denied. All I could see as I watched her body writhing rope was proof positive that she wanted to live. I'm going to save you, I swear. It was going to be alright. I could see the future. Fate was on my side for a change. Don't grab her body. No, wait, I remember this too. If I try to lift her, I'm just going to end up pulling down on her heart and breaking her neck. Seiko, what do I do? There has to be something else. Yes. That was it. I need to lift her higher up. I quickly ducked under Seiko's body and forced myself between her wildly flailing legs until she was sitting on my shoulders. I then put everything I had into my back while standing up and lifting her into the air. This created enough slack in the rope that the upper half of Seiko's body, weakened as it was, naturally collapsed against the back wall. Thinking fast, I took a step forward and actively pushed her into it, holding her in place so her head wouldn't drop back down again. Seiko, stay with me. Breathe. Breathe. I'm going to get you out of this rope now, okay? Just hold still. All the hair on my body was standing on end. I actually did it. I averted fate. I prevented Seiko's death. I could feel it all throughout my being. I had just stepped into a new world, a new destiny. It was an odd sensation. My deja vu, my memories of that horrible future had ground to a halt. I had no idea what would happen from now on. It seems the only memories I retained from that other timeline were the ones relating to my dearest friend's demise. Seiko had stopped squirming and simply slumped over, exhausted from the horror deal. I reached my hand out up towards her neck gently and carefully, and for a lot of fumbling, I successfully untied the knot of the rope. Peeling the slack noose off the Seiko's neck made a sort of crackling sound with each yank. I was in awe of how much force that rope had exerted. It was painful just thinking about it. Up through the morning, she was all smiles and laughter. She was always thinking about me, and always so kind and outgoing. Why did something so horrible have to happen to her? But there was nothing to be afraid of anymore. Seiko and I had now bypassed the sad fate that previously awaited us. As long as the two of us were together, we'd make it through this. I looked down at Seiko, still breathing, and sobbed. I laid Seiko out on the stall and gently laid her down on the bathroom floor. She was too weak to go any further just yet. Seiko, you idiot! Why would you try to hang yourself? I was so worried about you. You have no idea. I laid my head on her body. She was so warm. I wasn't going to let her go again. I wasn't going to let anyone take her away from me. It's okay now. I'm sorry, Seiko. I won't ever leave you alone again. Do you understand? Can you see me? It's me, Naomi. What is it? What? Seiko? What's wrong? It's me. Seiko wasn't acting like herself. She was regarding me as if she'd seen a ghost. Her face was plainly painted with abject fear from the very depth of her soul. She stumbled to her feet clumsily, then hastily darted out of the room. Well, that's because you hanged her, remember? No! Seiko! But why? I didn't understand. Why was she confused? Either way, I had to catch her. Wait, tell me what's wrong. It's me. It's Naomi. Kept pace with Seiko's frantic, unsteadily sprinting as she turned the corner and headed down the stairs, and then... oh no, the wire. No. No! Why? Why is that guy saved you? I just saved you! It smells rotten. Ah! Oh, poor you, poor you. Did you really think you could save her? Once someone's fate passes through these halls, it locks in place forever. Don't you see? If your destiny is to die here, then that's what's going to happen, no matter what. The way you die will just keep getting worse and worse every time. Good girl, good girl. Don't worry, I'll gladly extract all your painful memories for now. This isn't your first time here after all, right? We all have the time in the world to savor all the new unspeakable ways your friend can die. No! No! Such unbelievable cruelty. This was an inhuman malevolence that likes of which I never even imagined could exist. Oh, don't just hug her head. Because of my own overzealous actions, Seiko wound up meeting a fate even worse than death by hanging. Actually, this one probably would have been quicker. It's my fault, my fault. My tears began raining down on Seiko's cheeks, and on her forehead, into her nose, into her mouth, into her eyes. But Seiko's eyes wouldn't close. Despite lacking the ability to focus anymore, she just kept staring right at me. Oh, Seiko, what are you looking at right now? What thoughts are going through your mind? She's dead. Why did you run from me earlier? Why were you so afraid? But no matter how many times I asked her these questions, Seiko wouldn't answer. I told her we'd always be friends no matter what, that we'd always be together. Answer me, please say something. Don't leave me all alone. I could still feel the warmth from Seiko's head in my arm, but she was gone now. I was powerless. All I could do was scream. There was nothing else to do, and nothing would change. Not that the screaming helped. All that did was echo back at me, as if mocking my pain. I felt like I was trapped in a cold, damp cell. I had no doubt in my mind that this was hell. Why do we have to put through this nightmare? God, I can't take it anymore. Get me out of here. Someone please save me. Goku in. Clear. Tell me, Ariel, a soulful testimony locked in bonus. Well, my.